We are often told that one of the best things we could do for our business is grow our email list. When we grow our email list, that gives us the opportunity to communicate with our audience on a deeper level through email marketing. And one of the best ways to grow an email list is to do it through a high-value lead magnet. In today's episode, I will share with you what a lead magnet is, what makes a good lead magnet, and the 5 types of lead magnets that actually get signups. Episode 166 starts right now. Hey there, welcome to the Lora Shipman Show. We hang out here weekly to talk about things like social media, entrepreneurship, marketing, tools, strategies, tips, and it all starts right now. Hey there, before we get started with this show, I just want to share my passion with you. I love teaching people just like you how to master social media for business, breaking it down into easy to consume and easy to execute steps so that you can see immediate results. So whether you want to start a social media consultancy or grow your brand's presence on social media, I can help. I can help you get started and master all the things that you need to know. So I want you to go over to my website. It is filled with resources, tools, tips, and courses. Visit lorashipman.com. That's LORA shipman.com to get all the goods. Now you ready for the show? I know I am. Let's get started. Well, hey there, everybody. Welcome back. I am so glad you are here with me today because we are going to dive into the wonderful world of lead magnets. So a lot of you may be wondering, what the heck is a lead magnet and how does it work for my business? Well, actually, I'm going to let you know. A lead magnet is a free piece of high-value content that is offered in exchange for an email address. So when done correctly, a lead magnet can benefit both you and your prospective audience members in so many different ways. So just right off the top of my head, here are 3 ways you can benefit or your customer audience member can benefit. The first one is you. It positions you as that thought leader in your industry, your space, or your niche. You end up becoming that go-to person because you're dropping extreme quality information and content. Number 2, it gives your prospects a sample of what it's like to work with you. And if you can deliver quick wins through your lead magnet, that leads to tip number 3 or part number 3 is it's going to build that instant trust with your audience. So when somebody gets a quick win or you deliver some really good content to them, it's actually easier for them to say, yes, I want to work with that person in the future. So really think about that. And as we go through this podcast, I want you to come up with ideas of how you could talk to your audience about these lead magnets that you're going to be offering them and what kind of lead magnets you can deliver. So that brings me to my next point. What makes a good lead magnet? Well, for a lead magnet to work really well, it has to have some key components. And I'm going to share with you 4 of those components that it has to contain. The first one is it's got to be a real solution to a real problem that your target audience is struggling with. So that means you need to know your audience, what they're struggling with in order for your lead magnet to work. If you don't know what that is, you're just throwing stuff against a wall and hoping it'll stick and hopefully you'll get some sort of a connection. So that's why it's really important for you to know who your audience is, what their problem is, and then it becomes your job to give them a quick solution that they can execute through this download that you're providing called a lead magnet. Once you know their problem and you are the person to deliver the solution, you are going to win. And you have to make it so it's easy for them to consume and easy for them to execute so they can experience that solution pretty quickly, which leads me to my 3rd part of what makes a good lead magnet, and that is quick wins, transformations, and fast results. The lead magnet you develop for your audience, it's got to deliver. It's got to do its job. So when you're designing a lead magnet, make sure it delivers results when executed. Results and quick wins, they go a long way with audience members, and it's a great way to build that instant trust. So if you have questions as to whether or not you are getting quick wins and transformations or fast results as a result of your lead magnet, go ahead and put it out to, a test sample of people. Ask them to use your lead magnet and see what kind of results they get. And if they get winning results, then you know it's good to go. The next thing you need to consider is the right type of format for your target audience. So this again is where you really need to know who your target audience is, and you need to know exactly how they consume information. You might need to consider, would your audience prefer to read something, listen to an audio, watch a video, or would they prefer a hands-on step-by-step training, or even to participate in an interactive group webinar, a virtual conference, or a live training? Now, I think I said I had 4 things you needed to know. I actually have a 5th thing. The 5th thing is make it juicy. Appeal to your audience by making them feel special and that they're going to get something unique and extraordinary when they download your lead magnet. You can create this type of energy surrounding your lead magnet by providing a rare training, an exclusive feature, or make it only available for a limited amount of time. So what you're really doing here is you're kind of dialing into their FOMO factor, their fear of missing out. How likely are they going to feel like they're missing out on something if they don't download your lead magnet right away? Okay, so that gives you some background about what lead magnets are, how to work with them effectively. But now I'm going to give you the 5 types of lead magnets that actually get the signups you're looking for. But before we do that, I have a little bit of a confession to make. I am a total lead magnet junkie. I just love them. I love creating them just as much as I love consuming them. And since I have such an affinity for lead magnets, I've identified the top 5 that I think are the most valuable both for you and your customer. So, in no particular order, here they are. The first one is a template. Templates are awesome because they are something you can use to create a shortcut for a task or a process, right? A template can be anything. And here are some examples of templates that I've either created or consumed in the past that really work well. So the first one is graphic templates. And these are templates that are already set up for you in a program like Canva, for example, where all you need to do is get that template and then you drag and drop your own content text and graphics into the spaces provided, and it just looks so professional. And it's a huge shortcut for people because people who aren't graphically inclined don't want to waste time figuring out the best sizes and the way things should lay out so it's appealing to the eyes. So graphic templates are a great one. Okay, email templates are also phenomenal. I love these and I use them all the time. So if there's like some sales copy that maybe you're not great at sales copy in emails, you can literally get those for free by signing up for somebody's lead magnet. They're out there. You just got to search for them. Another one that's really good in the template field is PowerPoint templates. I use those all the time because, again, they're really laid out nicely and I don't have to spend the time coming up with creative PowerPoint templates. I can just download somebody's lead magnet to get one. And then the last one is a flyer template. Same thing. If you need to put together some sort of a flyer or a PDF flyer or something that you're going to send out to people, go ahead and look for some of these lead magnets out there for flyers. Really, really useful ones. And what I like to do is when I am trying to come up with templates, depending on what I'm using the template for, I will just go ahead and Google and see what people have out there for inspiration. Now, again, I've talked about this in the past, you need to be very careful when you're doing things for inspiration on Google. Be very careful that you don't plagiarize or copy. Make sure you make it your own by using your own ideas and your own creative spark. So it's really important. There is a huge difference between plagiarism and inspiration. And make sure you know what you're doing and stay in your lane when it comes to inspiration. Okay, the second type of lead magnet that works really well is a toolkit. Everybody loves a good tool, especially if it makes your work life a lot easier. I know I'm all in when I see those toolkits come across my screen. Okay, so a couple of ideas for toolkits would be some sort of software that generates or automates a process, idea generators, schedulers, those types of things. So if you are in the software space, you might wonder, what does that lead magnet look like? Because it's not really a download. Instead, what it is, it's a free sample or a free trial And what you want to do is at least offer them 30 days so that they can really understand how your software system works or how your scheduler works, and they get their feet wet. And then it's almost like they can't help but sign up for your product or service because they've been using it for a good amount of time that they can't imagine life without it, right? So during that time of the free trial or the sample, what you want to do is you collect their email address in order to give them the free sample or trial. But then while they're in that trial mode, make sure that you nurture them throughout that whole process. So what I mean by that is set up some sort of email automation system where they're getting some sort of an email from you every week or every 2 weeks during the trial, so that they know they can reach out to you if if they have some sort of questions, or if they're having technical difficulties or whatever. So they know what your customer support system looks like. It's really important because, again, it's a great way to build trust, and they're more likely to purchase the software program at the end of the trial if they're nurtured along the way. Okay, my next one is a tutorial or video training. These are so valuable, and you can learn so much from them, especially if they're done well. So my advice with these tutorials and trainings is to go short versus long. And here's the reason why. You want to make sure your audience is able to complete the entire training, and then at the end of that training, experience some sort of quick win as a result of implementing whatever you have shared with them. So you need to make sure you have a couple components there. You want to make sure it's short, you want to make sure it's easy to complete, and then you want to make sure that there's a win attached to it, which leads them again down that trust trail, right? They're going to trust you, and they're more likely to purchase from you because they've had success with you and your programs through the tutorials or the videos that you're sharing. Okay, number 4 on my list is an ebook that teaches a concept or a process. That's so valuable. I especially like the ones that include a workbook element to it, because at the end, you've kind of completed a plan or framework through the ebook. These are so valuable. People download them all the time. I know I do, and I'm sure you've done it in the past too. And again, this also gives you some sort of insight, or it gives your audience some sort of insight as to what it would look like to work with you. Because if they're able to do things through an ebook format, and then again get a quick win at the end, chances are they're going to want to work with you in the future. Now, my 5th idea is a guide, and this is usually just a step-by-step instruction booklet of how to do something. So it tends to have, step 1, do this, and it has a lot of imagery in there showing people maybe exactly what to do, what to write, where to click, however that's set up. So think about any sort of installation guide that you've used in the past, or a guide to do something, or even a recipe. If you think in that term, that's what a guidebook would look like as a lead magnet. Okay, so we're not done. Those were my 5. So it was the templates, the toolkits, the tutorial or video training, the ebook, and the guide. Those were my 5, but I've got a number 6. It's a bonus one. It's my runner-up, and it's called a swipe file. I love swipe file. If there was one more thing that I could add to this list, it would be this swipe file. A swipe file is basically a collection of writing samples or examples, and they can include things like headlines, captions, copy for sales emails, and copy for landing pages. And the author of these swipe files is giving you permission to go ahead verbatim and steal everything that they've put in this swipe file for you to use in your own business. I use them all the time. I download them all the time. They're extremely helpful, and they really help you, how do I want to say this, level up your writing skills, because once you see copy that really works for somebody else, you end up, that becomes part of your toolkit when it comes to writing copy. So think about how you could come up with a swipe file for your industry. Okay, my friends, that is my intro to lead magnets. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it's got your interest piqued a little bit, and that you're ready to try them for your business. So I have a question for you. If you are interested in learning more about lead magnets and getting them to work for your business, let me know, because I could do a part 2, or I could even offer you a special training if you wanted to learn how to actually get into the logistics of a lead magnet and how to technically put it all together so it works on your website and how to market them. So let me know in the comment section if this is something that you would be interested to learn more about. Okay, so that's it for today. Thank you for joining me. And as always, my friends, be safe, stay healthy, and most of all, stay social. Hey there, I just want to say thank you for spending time with me here today. I know your time is super valuable, which is why I am dedicated to providing lots of usable, actionable information in the shortest amount of time possible. Before you go, please don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss a future episode. And if you have ideas or topics you would like me to cover in an upcoming show, let me know about it in the comment section provided.